I would like to talk about how asexuality influences me artistically, preferably without rehashing my sexy video. I sing and play piano, I write music, I write lyrics, I learn other people's music because it's fun, usually by ear, not always songs that have piano in them in the first place. I'm going to stick to music. I do write, but if I got into talking about that, I might start almost talking about something I wouldn't admit in public and then not want to talk about it. And I don't want to, tempt you or anything. If I already have done, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if being asexual or being aromantic affects what I write songs about. Sometimes I think that it does, and sometimes I think that the reason I write songs about things that I do is because there are things I think about more than relationships with people, and even if I did have interest in romantic relationships and sex, I might still think about a lot of subjects more than romantic relationships or sex, and would naturally write songs about these things. Examples of some things I have written songs about: how surreal the concept of time is, how much I enjoy grey weather, how much I hate it when people think originality is important, a character who has disappeared and started drifting around Europe, being corrupted by attention, the fact that I think music and dancing are sexier than sex. That's in 5/4 time, by the way. And maybe a song about the fact that I pretty much have a platonic crush on a girl right now. The ones on this hand, maybe those have something to do with things that I think of differently because I am asexual and aromantic than I would if I weren't. Remember in my sexy video when I said that I consider music to be sexy whenever I feel like it's strongly conveying a feeling of sexuality, and I had also mentioned before that I just enjoy music that is strongly conveying something in general. Well, I think the way I experience music in general has a lot to do with that. I don't think that the way I experience music feels similar to sexual enjoyment, probably, but I do sort of feel like that's where my attentions are devoted, like that is, my brain considers that one of the most intense things it can experience. Playing music or singing something when you have really considered what it means it feels really connected. It just feels awesome. That's why I like learning other people's songs and playing covers too, because it sort of makes you understand music in a way that you can't really get to just from listening to it. It makes you, even if you can't directly relate to exactly what it's about, it sort of puts you in a role and makes you act. And as long as I'm talking about how I enjoy art as well as how I create art, dancing is really important to me. Dancing is one of my favorite things, and sometimes I feel like it's the sexiest or most sexual thing that I can do because it feels like the most instinctively, inexplicably, physically enjoyable thing I can do. It's a really connecting to music, especially if it's music I really like, although I don't have very high standards on what I will dance to if it's there. But that's probably like having casual sex with people or something, extending that metaphor. But actually, I'm probably talking out of my ass. It's probably nothing like sexual pleasure, but like I said, I feel like that's where my attentions are. If I were to perform or play music for an audience, I may want to act how I feel would be sexy, but as you may have guessed from what I've been talking about, what I consider sexy can be very muddled up. I guess what I'm saying is what I consider sexy because I'm asexual would affect me artistically and personally, because apparently one of the dictionary definitions of sexy is just highly appealing or interesting or exciting, and as some other people have mentioned, I think Holly said it in her sexy video, I think that's the kind of sexy that would translate well into me. Talking about performing and acting like I have in my last couple of videos has really made me want to do something fun and useful and show off with myself, because I haven't in a really long time. So wish me luck that some opportunity to do that will come up in the near future. 1:42 a.m. may be the earliest I've ever finished a Hot Pieces of Ace video, but what's coming in the future may be, I may have guest stars, friends of various sexual orientations, to put in different viewpoints and have some discussion between us. I'm thinking of maybe having a Q&A video, I guess, except that's probably a horrible idea because probably the same thing would happen that happens when I ask for questions on Tumblr, where I get like one or two and then I'm like, oh god, I can't handle this, except it would be even worse because I'd be speaking. But see you next week.